Hello, hello, everyone. Oh boy, what a week! What a week. I don't know what to say. it's it's been wild. I'm just getting settled in at the studio. It's been a wacky, wild morning that I was not expecting to be so wacky and wild. Um, let's open up photos on the MacBook. And I really need to get my daughter pulled up. This is going to be one of the most challenging portraits I have ever painted. Um, because painting a child is very difficult, and painting your own kids, even more so. So I've got my under sketch here, and I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit before I start working on the painting. So this is a self-prescribed homework assignment of sorts. I've got two portraits to do this week, and I think I'm going to do three instead of two because I've got three kids. So Mama Bear's been asking me for a good portrait of the kids for a while, and it is time that I deliver on what Mama Bear has requested of me. It's a little too sharp for a kid. So kids are so challenging because you have to soften everything. And just seeing my kids every day means that I'm going to be hypercritical of this. Even if things look right, they're going to look wrong to me. So her chin is way too sharp. There we go. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. And I'm going to do everything in values before I work on anything color. This was a dark value. Just going to soften that edge a little. And then I'll start mapping all of my shadows in just a second. Let me switch back over to OBS so I can see, who's tuning in. I don't want this full screen. I would like the photo of my daughter back. There we go. Slide this over. I just want to make sure I can see the chat. Yeah, it's just one of those days where nothing seems to be working the way I want it to. Which is most days, let's be honest. Alright. So, I am going to make a new layer. I'm also going to darken the background just a little bit so I'm not working on white. I'm gonna blur my eyes while looking at this portrait of my daughter. I'm just gonna pick a medium light value. And now I'm gonna color everything in. Just getting the silhouette. I'm trying to think about shape design and everything here because I am doing my best to Oh, I don't have my. I don't have my. Oh. I was trying to use my MacBook keyboard as a Procreate keyboard. That doesn't work. Get my Procreate keyboard back out. Where was I? Oh, values. Yeah, I'm taking a values first approach, and then I will play with color once I have my values appropriately blocked in. And I do, not even blocked in, I'm going to completely render everything in value before I try approaching color. And then I'm going to use some layering techniques for color. I feel like we don't need quite this much at the bottom. Just going to taper it off. So I will be using clipping masks. To keep everything attached to this layer, which reminds me I should probably be not using such a textured brush. We'll just go hard round so that I can get a nice flat value in. Get rid of the texture here on the base value layer. Maybe a little around the edges, because why not? A little towards the bottom is fine. I want that to fade off and have a value of its own, or have a texture of its own at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to reduce the opacity of my lines layer. And something new that I'm trying is working in multiple layers using blending modes. So I'm just going to switch to multiply and keep the same. Switch to multiply, keep the same color I had. Actually, no. We're just going to go for a normal layer. And I'll start working from mids backwards. So I'm going to go from 75% down to 33-ish%. Or, sorry, 37-ish, 38%. So this is halfway to black from the base value. Actually, no. Let's start at 50. I want to build contrast slowly this time. So this is just 50% gray, and this is the color space I'm going to be working in. I'm going to try, like I said, designing my shadows, and I do want texture for this, so I'm going to switch back to my pencil. So that's actually what I'm going to do, is try to basically outline the shadow shapes that I want to create. And I'm just starting at the top, and I'll work my way down. add texture to that later. I'm going to work from the big shapes to the small shapes. And I'm trying to group as many values together as I can. So even if this has a clean split where the highlight runs through the hair, I want to simplify that and group it into one slightly simpler shape. Same for the eyebrows, simplifying. And we'll do the same for the eye. Hey, what's up, Angela? I am working on a little portrait of my daughter, which is scaring the crap out of me because I have to impress my daughter's mother. My lovely wife. She is hard to impress. It's a self-imposed homework assignment that I'm working on that is probably going to be a bigger challenge than I was expecting. But that's okay. I am up for the challenge. Yeah, I'd better make it perfect. Yes, you are correct. How's life? Well, I'm sorry about the 8 to 5 BS, but I'm glad that you're finding some fulfillment in the other creative career. That's always good. Oh, that is awesome. No, I started a 3D print myself last night and it failed. I'm trying to print some uh, like planar heads, like Asaro heads for reference, and I got a failed print. I did not have time to pull the failed print off of the plate, unfortunately, but I'll be getting that restarted today. Thank you. Um, I am not sure what went wrong. I think it was just too heavy of a print, and I only used medium supports because I was trying to print it fairly large, um, and yeah, my printer, well, the supports did not agree with it, so I've got my raft and my supports all stuck to the build plate still, but the whole head is just down in the vat somewhere. So I did a vat cleaning, and now I'm waiting to clean it up. Uh, I use lychee or lychee. Really not sure how they want it pronounced, but yeah, that one. It does auto supports. It's really convenient. It is a subscription based slicer though, which I think is kind of dumb. Like, I don't know what I'm paying for with the subscription exactly. I guess just future development, but software as a service is like the big scene, so I'll have to look into that one. Now, all things being equal, I have not I haven't spent a super significant amount of time working with my 3D printer, which is a real shame because it's a very powerful tool in my arsenal and a very expensive tool. So I haven't been at the studio as much as I normally am over the past few months. It's been really hard to get into a 3D printing routine. I appreciate that. No, I really do need to just suck it up and spend a lot more time on with my 3D printer. I spent entirely too much money on that to just let it sit in the break room here at the studio and collect dust in the vat. Like, that's very bad. Let's see. I might as well throw a few little shapes in here. Alright, so now that I have... Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. I was gonna say, now that I've blocked in all of my value, shadow shapes, but I haven't. So I have blocked in the first layer of shadow shapes. The plans are to use this as a base and then just slowly layer in. So I'm gonna leave that max saturation. So mapping in my base. Then I'm going to render it completely in grayscale. Then I'm going to add color, merge everything down, and eventually end up with what will hopefully be... Oh. There it is. And end up with what will hopefully be a good portrait of my little one. Well, my medium one. This is the middle child. I'm going to start the rendering on a new layer just so I don't mess anything up. Got good shapes here. So I'm also adding contrast slowly. I have a tendency to over contrast things too soon. So I am working it up way more methodically this time. Thank you. I'm doing my bestest. Hopefully mommy is a happy camper whenever I bring this home. Which I'm not gonna finish it today. This is one of those projects that's gonna take a little bit of time. Well, thank you for tuning in, even if you are just listening. I probably won't be super chatty myself. Just gonna be sitting here rendering for a little while. You want some noodles? I'll make you some for lunch, okay? We don't have chocolate, baby.
I got them. You want to attack?
Well, not right now, sweetie.
48.
What?
It's 48.
You already ate it. Oh, okay.
Well, fine. I can put it in the water and on to get it in the house.
What?
I want to put these noodles in the water
Oh,
and put it in the oven.
okay.
And
Here, in a little bit, we will.
I've got Pandoria.
Yeah, that is Aria. Painting Aria.
Oh, that is right there.
Yeah.
Compute.
Guess who I'm gonna paint after Aria? You. So working inside of a limited value range is really tricky, but I can see the benefits. So you end up with like a reserve of values that you can play with. And as you slowly add contrast, you can really decide how you want to use it. Sorry, just looked up. Um, Weather in Kentucky right now is bipolar. So yesterday it was pretty chilly. Today it's getting really warm. Tomorrow it's getting warmer. The day after that it's getting really cold again. We did survive the big Midwestern crazy storm that came through not too like over the weekend, so that's good. Um, Favorite type of tattooing? I would have to say I prefer black and gray over color usually, but it really depends on what the piece calls for. Really, it's a stylistic thing for me. I prefer doing like neo-traditional tattoos, so very comic book inspired is probably the best way to think of it. Um, and on Vale's Discord, yes, there is a place to submit work for critiques. Uh, so if you're on the Discord, um, if you're on the Discord, if you scroll to the top of the channels list, there should be a button that says Browse Channels. If you click on that, it'll show you a lot of the hidden channels, which they're randomly hidden, so I can't tell you which channels are going to be hidden for you. It's really random. But there's a section called just critiques. That would be the best place for you to critique. Discord's really bad about hiding stuff. And you're very welcome. I'm in the critiques channel a lot, both offering and asking for critique. Not so much this past week. I was sick last week. So base layer, first layer of shadows, first layer of rendering. been asking me for a portrait of the kids for a while. I don't know if she'll be impressed or just annoyed that it took so long. Or just yes, yes, and there's that possibility as well. Alright, so this is mostly rendering towards the lights. So I am going to start building a little bit of contrast into the darks now. So 50, let's drop it to... Actually, let's just do it slowly. 36, sure, that sounds good. So now I want to look at the darks and see where I can make things darker. And I would like to keep my reference pulled up. Let's do that again. Oh, come on. There we go. The reference window is being disagreeable. There we go. Did I do the same? Yeah, alright. I was like, oh no, did I do a new layer? I hope I did a new layer. I did. I'm really bad about working on the wrong layer. Time to stand, my watch says. No. I don't wanna. Good morning, Namera, and thank you. I'm taking a different approach than I usually do. Well, not exactly. Actually, this is the way I used to do my values. And the studio phone is ringing. Be right back. Set it down so I can reach it. Sweet, sweet coffee. Harper, don't push buttons on the phone, babe. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for chatting. Good luck at work. crap. Time has flown. I didn't realize that it was already almost 10. What's up, Marcelo? I am painting a portrait of my daughter, which is scary. Going to do is group all of these, duplicate that group, flatten everything. So now I'm working on one layer. Well, now I'm working on top of just one layer. So up to this point, I've just been working darker and darker values, so like darker values into lighter values. And then I did like, a flat shadow shape, and then another mostly flat shadow shape on top of that shadow shape. Just keep working in darker and darker tones. And trust that the lighter tones are doing what they need to do. Ruh-roh. Tanning salon next door looks like not open when it's supposed to be. Got a crowd outside waiting to get in. Someone must have called in sick. 'Cause they never, ever miss a day of tanning here in Kentucky. Alright, so I've been working darker. Now I'd like to work just a little bit lighter. So the quote rule of thumb for rendering is that you render towards the light. Yeah, the tanning mob. Which is hilarious because, you know, we're a tattoo shop right next door. Like, our businesses are quite literally opposed because tanning is horrible for tattoos. So we always, you know, tell our clients, make sure you don't get your tattoo in the sun or tan too much, or it will ruin your tattoo. So I have to be very particular with how I use my pencil brush because it has a hard edge and a soft edge. So if I'm trying to blend something out softly, I have to rotate my canvas or cock my arm in a really weird position. Thank you very much. This is scary. Because everything about this tiny human's face is so subtle. Now, this is, funnily enough, like, she is a freaking Disney princess in terms of, like, her face. She is a Disney princess, and she knows she's a Disney princess, but she's also the darkest child ever. She's creepy. And I love it. I love it. I feel like I've lost something. I need to fix it. No, this is my daughter that was, well, so at one point she was drawing things that were wildly inappropriate because she was picking up some pretty ugly stories from the daycare she was attending. So at one point she drew a mommy that got beat up by a daddy. I was like, that's really dark. And when her daycare questioned her about it, she just said a mommy and a daddy, but the daddy was in jail. And like that almost turned bad until I figured out that she was talking about one of her friends at Head Start. I was like, yeah, let's. No, we're not making that yet. Like, yeah, it was crazy. And then we were taking a birthday trip to Kings Island, and we were taking some back roads to get to the theme park. She's looking out the window. She goes, "Mommy, Daddy, that is such a beautiful garden." And we look out the window. She's looking at a cemetery. We're like, okay, all right. Trying to. One of the more recent examples was. Her and her brother were working on a crossword, and her brother was like asking us like for hints towards some of these questions on the crossword, and he was like, "This one just says it's a body part." She goes, "Blood." I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, she's terrifying. That's it right there. Give her little Disney princess button nose. That's it. All right, that's where I needed to fix some things. Well, not fix, but render things more accurately. Actually, yeah, let's blend. Boom. Yeah, I just took a portrait painting. Well, I'm in the middle of a portrait painting class, and well, it's digital portrait painting, and so I'm trying out everything that I've learned so far on this portrait, and it's also a homework assignment, so. So I'm gonna go until 10:30, then I'll hop off, and I still have to clean the studio. I haven't done that today yet. Crooked front teeth. Let's not forget her buck teeth. Perfect. Ah. Okay. I'm gonna keep working darker. 38. Let's drop to 20. So the only place I'm going to have black and white is going to be in the eyes, and a little bit of black in the nose because of the occlusion shadow, and the nostrils. Everything else I'm just slowly building towards darker tones. I explained it earlier, it's just so that I have more control over the values. Yes. Yes, indeed. I'm getting the impression that the tanning salon is not going to open up. Like, they are freaking out over there. Ugh. And I just realized that I have made a grave mistake. Well, not a grave mistake. I always forget the ear. Like, the ear is always such an afterthought for me, and it's a common mistake. And yes, I say mistake. That's a very common mistake in portraits, to forget the ear and then just half-ass render it at the end. I don't want to half-ass render it, so we'll have to get in there and do something with the ear. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the ear low in value variation, just so that I can really control the focal point. But I do want to fully render it, so I'll probably use like between 40 and 70%, so that I've got just like a 30% value range in the ear, whereas around the eyes it's going to be a 100% value range from absolute darkest to absolute lightest. The hair, well, I don't know, I'll probably have the same value range as the hair in the ear, so I'll just color pick from the hair while I'm rendering the ear. That'd be the easiest. Before I do any specular highlights in the hair, because I will do some speculars, just not a ton. The speculars I do in the hair are not going to be white, though. I'll just make it a tiny bit lighter than the lightest value of the hair, and that'll be just a tiny touch. I did not need to darken that up there, like that's facing the light. All right. Oh, the skin. It's a good question that I don't have a great answer to yet. um, so I've already done a lot of rendering on the skin, but I think there could be a little bit more of a value shift. I'm just scared, so I'll do that on a new layer. So this was after the merge, adding some more darks, adding a few lights, and sculpting, adding some more darks. So I'm gonna group that, duplicate, flatten, new layer. Well, what I like to do is like blur my vision or squint at the reference photo and then look back down at mine and see if anything's like very obviously off. So this cheek, for instance, could use a lot more sculpting. Honestly, it gets really dark here in the crevice of her dimple. So I can comfortably darken that. And the same thing happens over here. Not quite as dark, so I'll lightly brush it on and then pick a value that's almost as dark as the value on the other side. And this actually creates almost a little drop shadow coming in here. Overlaps with the mouth. There. So there I've really emphasized her dimples, and honestly I think that dimple is sitting too high. So one cool thing about Procreate is that you can make selections on multiple layers and liquefy multiple layers, which I'm pretty sure you can do in Clip Studio Paint as well. And with my reference pulled up over there, I can see like really how that looks without the selection mask on. Much better. I'll extend that lip a little bit just to really make it look like it's going into that dimple. Yeah, perfect. Now I really want to sculpt some more like her cheeks, how round they are right here. So do this and sort of soften off the edges. And I like to color pick a lot, because using the color picker means I don't have to rely so much on pressure sensitivity. That already looks way better. All right. I see some things that I've completely neglected over here too. What is it, sweetie?
I quit and my dad. But I quit
Oh, okay. Oh, you're gonna stay in Arya's bed forever, ever?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so ants won't bother you. So our little lady, our tiniest little lady here, she woke up the night before last screaming about ants trying to get her. She has been terrified of ants ever since and is seeing ants everywhere. So she slept with her baby sister, or her older sister last night. I feel so bad for her. Alright, I said I was going to go until 10:30. It's now 10:38, so I really need to hop off here, get the shop cleaned up, and I will keep working on this, and yeah, hopefully I can make Mama Bear a happy Mama Bear. I am very pleased with how it's turning out so far. Alright, on that note, take it easy, everyone. Keep drawing, painting, writing, singing, or dancing your hearts out, and we will talk next Tuesday. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Watching me experiment with this portrait of my little lady. Alright, so have a great one, guys. See you next week.